Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another couch video. Sexual charisma is intangible. This episode is sponsored by the Oracle of Khemsa Nu, the new novel by Master Yao and Yamache Morris. The new age has come. The powerful 9 deities of the tree of life have commanded the elementals to help restore Earth from ruin. New races of man are born from fire, earth, air, and water, each with a special mission, especially the Asuo race. They are tasked with restoring the Oracle portal connecting the Earth to the ancestor sphere of Asamando. Failure will bring the dreaded convergence of fate worse than death, but the Great Spirit is kind. And in success, man stands to experience 1,000 years of paradise. But will humanity accept the offer? This novel has story elements ranging from science fiction to fantasy to the supernatural. The scope of the action is expansive with great characters, fight scenes, eroticism, and thought-provoking metaphysics. There is even subtle commentary on real-life issues. I highly recommend this book. A link to purchase this epic novel is in the description box. Yes, indeed. Sexual charisma. What's sexual charisma? Well, I'm going to be real with you. It's not like the regular charisma, because we understand regular charisma where, people are just popular. They draw people to them. They have that magnetism. Sexual charisma is very specific. It's that charisma that draws a person to you sexually. So a man that has that, he's drawing the women not based on his outer appearance, believe it or not. In fact, he might look ordinary. He's definitely not doing his money or whatever status and everything. That's one level, and that definitely works. But sexual charisma is an intangible thing. We've all seen that man who got women going crazy over him, and you're like sitting back like, what is it about him? Dude ain't that tall. Dude don't have those model looks. Dude might not even listen to Rom when Rom talk about body game. But they got a ton of women. But what I found with them is they got charisma. The women just going crazy over them. It's that vibe. See, understand something with women. See, a lot of guys think it's all physical. I mean, you got whole channels talking about the physical part. And yeah, it plays a part. But that charisma is the thing that takes a man to the next level. It's that it factor. And a lot of stuff go into it. Yeah, the looks will go into it, but it's also how he carry himself and all of that. See, understand something with women. Understand something. Yes, they are very visual, but they also are emotional, and they also move off their feelings. And that guy who got sexual charisma, he'll have a combination of factors that draw the woman to him, but it really is the charisma part. Indeed, even though, look, let's be clear, even though women do not use that number system, only when they're communicating with a man. They use adjectives. They'll say sexy, fine. They'll say shiny. They'll say, attractive, all of that. They never really use numbers when it's just them. They only use it if they having a conversation with a man. So it's like they looking at a lot of the whole picture. So check it out. When a man has true sexual charisma, that thing, if we use the man's way of doing it, rating a man, using a number system, say the man just off that number system is a 6. But then when he has that charisma, the women always think he look better. So it would raise them to an 8 or even a 9 because it makes them feel something. See, when a woman's, yes, she is visual, but she's also auditory. She's also about her sense of smell. And she's mainly about how she feels. That man hits her on a different level. The woman she might even say that. She might be like, you don't look like all that, but something about him. And see, when I say, and that's just, I'm gonna tell you what, that's just the charisma part. The sexual part is he gives off a vibe that makes the woman wanna jump his bones. It's driving them crazy. And it's like I said, it's a bunch of factors together. It's how he's interacting with her. Now, usually the dude is, in fact, you know what? It's so many things. He can even be physically unattractive, but he'll still have something. He need to have at least something on him. Maybe some height, maybe a good body build, you know, maybe a good ass print, something. He gotta have something on him that's sexual, at the very least visual. That woman, you know, just some nice lips. He stick his tongue out, something. But then there's also his attitude and how he interacts with her. There's a certain way a man gotta interact with a woman that puts her into a receptive state. That, you know, he can say boom, you know, because she's drawn to that. See, a lot of guys think women don't want to have sex. No, they want to have sex. They just want to only have it with certain men. And that charisma thing is boom. Because look, let's be real out here. When you look at the men I call Mr. Goodbar. They don't stand out in the crowd. Most of them don't stand out in the crowd. Most of them are average looking. But they have a ton of women. And it's like a heterosexual man ain't gonna see it. But you talk to the women and they'll say that charisma. They'll say that's that confidence, like being confident. Like, I'm gonna tell you what, a lot of people think that's some cliche thing, but women go crazy over a confident man. He just carrying himself like boom, boom, boom. Like when he interact with her, he don't have any nervousness. His body language is strong. That's part of charisma right there. That's intangible. When they're confident, he's aggressive, he's assertive, he's take charge. All of that goes into that charisma thing. Because see, a woman has a natural need to submit to a man. All this argument about submission and everything, women have a need to submit. They'll do it automatically, but they only do it with certain men. And if a man has the intangible characteristics, the personality, the dominance, the confidence, the aggressiveness, the assertiveness, to get her to submit, boom. And the thing is, he don't have to do anything other than be himself. He can sit over in the corner and eat his buffalo wings. See, I'm gonna tell you something now. A lot of guys think they know what a woman wants. Like, you got guys measuring faces and everything. And dude, if it was just that, that'd be cool. But ask yourself, how come you got some guys who got that, but they complaining? Seriously, ask yourselves. Some guys who got those things, they're complaining. Not all of them, of course. And the ones who still getting the women anyway, a lot of times dudes ain't trying to pay attention. Well, okay, how he behaving? It's the personality thing. It's the personality thing. And it's the charisma thing. Now, it's not, I'm gonna be honest now. See, here's the argument. This is a legitimate argument. Some people who are aware of charisma say you either got it or you don't. And then you have some other people believe you can develop it. I'm of the school, I think you can develop it, but it's hard as hell. It's not easy. It's not watching a couple videos and taking some notes. It's a process. It'll probably take you a couple years to develop it if you make a conscious effort to do so. And actually in my book, Sexual Chemistry, I give what I think will work. And I've seen it work with a couple of guys, but they did some real work. But if you got that sexual charisma, that's powerful. That means you can, and actually, I'm gonna tell you what, I knew this guy who had it, and he was still getting women. He had actually put on a little bit of weight. And he wasn't like that tight body, he was like a bigger dude. In fact, that's why you'll see, like what I call big man game. You'll see some big men, gregarious men, and they real friendly. They be having the women going crazy. That's because of their charisma. See, some guys can't figure it out, charisma. Now, of course, some guys gonna be like, nah, that don't work, it's this and that. That's because they don't have charisma and they ain't hanging around it. But it's that it factor, it's that factor that talent scouts will look for. They'll look for that charisma. It's that energy and everything. Shoot, in the streets, they know about it. They might call it swag or whatever. But, that's that thing. It's intangible, it's very powerful. All right? So I want y'all to think about that. That charisma. And I've been saying it before. People need to talk about charisma more. That plays a big thing. A book I always talk about, Swoon, and a lot of people have gotten that book. Talking about Ladies Man, she spends the first part of the book talking about charisma. And that sexual charisma, if you got that sexual charisma, that sexual vibe, trust me, it'll overcome a lot of physical deficiencies. But the thing is, it's just intangible and it's very powerful. It works. So that's all I got for today, y'all. Get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings. Purchase the novel, The Oracle of Khemsa Nu, and check out the world of Khemsa Nu at oraclekhemsanu.com.